Hello Aries, it is my intention to share with you today the reading that is going to give you the map or like the energies you're going to face during this second half of March. Now it is my intention to share with you a reading and also astrological information. Based on the astrological report I've made for all signs, I've made something specifically designed for your sign. So this is gonna be basically a complement to anything I might have said on the astro report for this half. So anyway, this is gonna be a bit different though, because this reading, and let's go with your reading. This reading is not gonna be exactly a reading planned or a structured reading, so to speak, like the Spanish one I do. This is gonna be an intuitive one, which means that I'm gonna be shuffling the deck. And as the cards fall down randomly, I'm gonna be telling you what I think and what I feel you are meant to hear. So while we wait until some cards drop, and that doesn't count because I only want one or two tops, I don't want a whole lot. Let me tell you a little bit about your astrological information. So the first thing you gotta understand is that you have a lot of planets in your first house, in Aries. And all of those planets are going to be going into conflict with Jupiter in the other side of the astrological sign, which is Libra. So basically you have an opposition between the first house and the seventh house, which means that right now you are probably at odds with everyone who is around you. You really want to act in a way that's different, but sadly that way is going to make you be on your own for a while. And that's good. Given the transit of Mercury along the first house, that means that you're gonna be understanding eventually. Well, actually, during this 15 days, you're gonna be understanding why it's good to be on your own sometimes. What things about you put so much stress on the relationships you have? So there we go. We have two cards. So the first thing I want you to hear when it comes to yourself and your relationships, there's no right choice. It's either your intentions or their intentions, and right now you're gonna begin understanding that sometimes you just have to side with yourself, even if that puts you at odds with someone else. And it's just that in this time, given the social revolution we're going through, and that's more explained in my astrological report, sometimes you just have to tell people that you want your own way, and that's gonna create some conflict, and there's no way of solving that conflict. But the Two of Swords reverse tells you that even if you don't find a good answer, you still have to move on. So sometimes you just have to trample over some relationships, not because you want to hurt the people, but because you want to go your own way, you know? Maybe someone else is telling you that you should do things differently and you don't really feel like it, you don't really feel like listening to them, but telling them to back off is a little bit rude, maybe, but it is necessary because what you really want is to move on your own way. You want to understand some things and you want to understand them in a way that's fitting to you. And that's gonna come into a lot of turbulence because some people just don't want to let you go your own way. And when it comes to those people, it's just that there's nothing you can really do, is there? So that's why you have the Two of Swords reverse, which it means that there's no way to please everyone. But you still have to make a choice. So if you're gonna make a choice, at least decide for yourself. You are gonna make some mistakes, of course, because balancing your relationships is not really your strength, that's more Libra, which is your opposite sign, but you are very good when it comes to defending your own point of view, and right now you're gonna understand why that's good, why that's fair, why it is fair that sometimes you just have to let go some relationships in order for you to develop in your own way. So that's a good thing. It puts the stress into what I was saying, that you are gonna understand. Given Mercury's transit in your first house, it's gonna meet up with Venus in retrograde, and it's gonna meet up with Uranus, which means that you're gonna be thinking in more creative ways that you didn't think outside of the box. That's your intellect gonna be this second half. So yeah, basically, well, the second thing I wanted to say, well, sometimes you have to be on your own. That's the message of the key phrase for the second half. But the other thing I want to say is that you have to act in a way that will get you what you want. And if you act in a way that gets you what you want, it will help you in following your routine. So for instance, I think that right now would be better if you focus on getting the tools you need, getting the implements, any kind of objects that you have to use in your routine. For instance, if you want to go to the gym, might as well buy the uniform and the bags and all sorts of things. You know, this 2 cards means when you have the 5 of Swords upside down, reverse, and you have the Hangman, it means that I know that you're trying to avoid conflict, which is, it's a good thing coming from an Aries, who is a sign that is more fit to fight with people. Curiously enough, right now you're looking for an end to conflicts. You don't really want to argue anymore. You've had enough. But there's only so much you can do to avoid conflict. That's the Hangman. You cannot control the whole situation. You can't pretend that you have complete control even over other people's reactions. The way other people react is up to them, and you know what? Sometimes people just want an argument, and maybe they're gonna pick it with you because you're not gonna be doing what they want. You know, that's the problem. Sometimes people think they have control over you. So when people think they have control over you, whatever you do that's not in alignment with what they think you should do is gonna piss them off. So again, there's not really much you can do to avoid conflict, even if that's your intention. If you're trying to avoid conflict right now, it's only gonna get you stuck. Now, I'm not saying that you should go and fight everyone. That's not my point. My point is that do your best, but if there's any point someone is trying to control you, tell them to see what I was gonna say? That's the natural way to express it. Tell them to fuck off. Really. Sometimes you have to be on your own. I don't mean that in a mean way, but I am trying to give you the energy that you need in your everyday life, and it's not that you need more conflict. You're in fact trying to back off from it, as far as I seem. But trying to back off so much is gonna leave you like the Hangman. Like you're not gonna be able to listen to your own voice and act upon it. So that's another point, another very important point this 15 days. And what I was saying before, try to act in a way that will get you what you need and what you want as well, because what you want and what you need, I think, are gonna be the same thing this 15 days. Because what you want and what you need are things that allow you to get your routine done. And we have these 2 cards. Temperance. If you focus on getting what you want, you're gonna be at peace, because you're not gonna be focusing so much about the fights you don't want to get into, but rather about the things that you can control and the things that are gonna work in your favor. Now, I said I didn't want a lot of cards, but this one was I think I should read this story for you. Let's go with the story. So you have the Page of Pentacles, which I think is you. You found a very good opportunity or a very good chance to develop. And you started working on that, but then it got tedious. It got really, really upsetting in the sense that there were too many things at once. And it was too much to handle. And you were still trying to make it work, but it was too much. It was too much. And then you wanted out, because I think you realized that the situation you were in was not what you really wanted. In fact, maybe it was an attempt to run away from old problems, or maybe it was done with a very negative energy, like, because no one else is gonna help me, I'm gonna help myself out, so peace. And you left, and you tried to build something on your own, and then you kept building that something on your own, and it started breaking your back, and now you are back to the start, which is like, what do? I don't really want to suffer anymore, but I don't know where to go. And again, it's up to you. It's your actions, it's your passion. But I think you're trying you have the right intention. You have the Ace of Wands, which means that this could be a beautiful start. But the Knight of Wands reverse on the side tells me that maybe you're trying to get to that in a very aggressive way, in a very negative way. Or maybe people are not giving you the encouragement you would like. So what can I get from outside of those 5 cards? I can get that you tried something new, it was really difficult, I think you really wanted out, and now you are wondering if that was a good idea at all. And I can tell you it was a very good idea, but the execution was flawed. Why was the execution flawed? Because you were acting out of rhythm. Or you were not acting with the... Again, you had the right... I feel you have the right intention. I really do feel that you want to do something on your own. You want to be independent. You want to tackle some challenge and be passionate about it. But if you have the Page of Pentacles reversed, sorry, Page of Pentacles, Page of Knight of Wands reversed, it means that... Well, we have these cards like this, because I'm gonna leave it like this, because they're gonna be ambiguous. 7 of Cups means that you don't really know what you want. You think you do, but you don't. And instead of trying to make something happen, instead of trying to reach the end goal, try to ask yourself what is gonna be the end goal in the first place. Where do I want to go? Where do I want to... Alright, so I think you know what you want to do, but where do you want to take that? What's the expansion? What's the direction? What's the intention? What's that which is gonna keep you going over and over again? And don't give up, even if the task at hand seems difficult. So where do you want to take this idea? And well, the point with this story is that you don't really know what you want, because you have to clarify that. Some of the things you are thinking are not really... some of the limitations you are facing are more limitations born out of your own mind rather than real limitations. Like, for instance, a limitation that is born from your mind is like, I can't really ask help to them, when you actually could. It's a viable alternative. But you cut that option off because you may be mad with the people that could help you out. So that's a limitation that you yourself have created. It doesn't have to be the same, but I hope you get the idea of what I'm trying to get here. You need to have some space from your own way of thinking, because some of the things you are thinking are not really what you would decide, but rather the confusion born out of your own mess when it comes to your emotions. So let's try to look at one last intuitive card, and then I'm gonna give you a 3-card message at the end to end this video. There we go. Again, on its side. Let's look at this. Let's take a look at this, so I can give you a message. And it was like kind of my perspective, so it makes sense. You don't really know what you want. So that confusion, that inside emotional turmoil is really, that instability is really messing with you. I would say this is because Venus is in retrograde, which means in your sign, in your first house, which literally means that you don't really know what you love. You don't really know what you want in your life. You don't really know what you want to attract. And that's fine, that's fine. Because you really know what you want, it is a good idea for you to stop. I'm not saying you to lose your passion. You obviously want to work towards something, but you don't really know where. So why are you trying to move on if you don't know where do you want to move on? Instead, take some time out. Think about things. Take time for your emotional turmoil to clear up. And on this 15 days, I think it will clear up. Because look, abundance, what you want, your joy, your creativity, your expression, the capability to not only find opportunities but to create even more opportunities, is right next to, or is right when you decide to take some space, some time out from your own way of thinking, because your way of thinking is limiting you. If you keep thinking like this, you will never find what you want. But if you take some time out to just, do some things that give you some air, do some things that give you some mental harmony, when you stop worrying about this, when you stop thinking like this, when you stop going back to the past or worrying too much about the future, then when you find that peace of mind, which funnily enough was right here, temperance, when you find this, you're gonna get this, what you're looking for. So yeah, again, instead of trying to reach the end goal, work towards building your routine, something that is stable, something that is not the end goal, but it's something that's gonna allow you to find that. Instead of worrying so much about what do you want out of life and worrying how to please everyone around you and what do I do to keep everyone happy, just first figure out what makes you happy, what would make you happy, truly happy, and forget about the rest. Like, give yourself some time to forget about the rest. So what I said here in this reading is that you have two conflicts. The first one being that you are at a loss about how to go about trying, I'm not sure if trying to make everyone happy, but how to tell people some things without getting them pissed off. Without getting into a conflict. What I can tell you is that do take some measures to try to keep people from getting mad. Obviously that's not what we want, but I want you to remember that there's only so much you can do. The way people are going to react, it's up to them, not up to you. And you can be perfect. You can have a perfect plan for people not to get mad at you, but if they want to get mad, if they're looking for trouble, if their way of viewing the world is I gain things through verbal harassment, you're gonna get verbal and mental harassment as well. There's nothing you can do about that. So that's the first thing I told you. And the second thing is that you need to think ahead. Not in a worrisome way, not in a concerned way, not in an anxious way, not what's gonna happen next, how I'm gonna do this. Not like that. You need to look ahead in a way that's very trying to move on from the problems of the past into a better future, which you will have as soon as you figure out what you want to do with so much energy. What do you want to build? Where do you want to go? And these are the last three cards I dealt for you. This is the final message I want to leave you with. This is the most important thing I can tell you right now for these 15 days. Leave the past behind. You have some wounds, you had some disagreements, some things were lost. I understand it hurts, but it is necessary that you keep moving on. This emotional turmoil is what's causing you some emotional confusion. So you have to let go of the past. You have to stop thinking about the past. It makes no sense. It is not going to change. It is already done. Now you have to get it over with in your mind. Your mind and your heart need to be clear of what has happened. The second card is the Eight of Wands. As soon as you have stopped thinking about the things that are hurting you, that are no more there, that are no longer with you, you're gonna be able to have some space for you to feel joyful about life, which is funnily enough what you want. Rejoicing, celebration, or maybe results. You're gonna be on your way as soon as you stop hanging on to the past wounds. At least heal yourself, but don't pretend that you can move on without addressing that first. It is your emotional needs, and you're gonna be figuring them out as time goes by. You will understand what I'm talking about. As soon as you are at peace, as soon as you are following the rhythm of the moment, of the present moment, as soon as you understand that, you're gonna receive what you're looking for. It will be offered to you. You don't have to go and do everything to get this. You just have to be at peace. Truly at peace, like in real solitude, in real silence, in real contentment. Not because you are satisfied with life. I will never say that. Don't be satisfied. Always strive for more. Always try to build more. But don't be anxious. Don't try to build more because of need. Because you are not enough. You are already enough. But you need to be peaceful for you to realize that. And when you are peaceful, then things start happening. When you are peaceful, When you're peaceful, then abundance start coming. Then offers start raining upon your head for free, without you having to do anything, because everything you had to do, you already did inside. Now, I'm not saying you stop acting. You obviously want to act. Go and do so. Act, but don't think so much that you become drowned in your thoughts, your past experiences, and your past emotions. That makes no sense. It's gonna drown you, which it's already doing. Take this time to reflect. Take this time to think about the things you like, about the things you don't like. And at least if you don't know what you would like in your life, try to think about the things you wouldn't like. That's a good start. Remember that you have to do this, and try to look this card up in your internet browser or whatever. Try to find the meaning to this and apply it to your life, because you are making the right steps. And you would make the best steps in the future, but you need to stop thinking. You need to let go of what has happened. And you need to accept that sometimes some milk is gonna be spilled. Not because you want to, but because it is necessary. It is the principle of chaos and order. So yeah, I wish you the very best, Aries, in that endeavor. You have the King of Cups reversed, which means that some of your emotions are not really positive. Get over them. Observe them. Don't get mixed with them. Don't get carried away with those emotions. Try to observe them and understand them. Listen to them, but don't get mixed with them. Don't act based on them. Just listen to what they are saying, and then make up your own mind. You need to let go of society's standards. Maybe you are stressed because you are trying to fulfill a dream that society has told you is a very good dream, but it is not. It is not for you. You need to think in a very creative way, and you will. You will be very creative. You are being very creative with Uranus in your first house. You really think you're not gonna surprise people with Uranus in your first house? All of the Aries are acting in very strange, very evolved ways, but very shocking. And people don't like shocking. People like predictable. Fuck predictable. Be yourself. Take care.